Hi, and welcome back to Winter Nights with Imagine This Stories. I'm really glad you're here. Get comfortable, grab a blanket, snuggle up, and for the next few minutes, imagine this. Tonight's story is from the Bible, in the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 3. It happens in the stillness of the night, when lamps are burning low and everything is quiet, but not for long. God is about to speak to a child. This is the story of Samuel and how he learned to listen for God's voice. Long ago, before there were street lights or alarm clocks, nights were very dark and very quiet. People went to bed early, and the only light came from small oil lamps flickering softly in the corners of the room. Samuel lived in God's house called the Tabernacle. It wasn't like our houses today. It was a special place where people went to pray and worship God, kind of like a church. Inside, there were rooms where the priests worked. There were soft mats for sleeping and lamps that burned all night long. Samuel slept not too far from one of the priests named Eli. That way, if Eli needed him, Samuel would hear him calling and he could go help him. Well, one night, after the lamps had been trimmed and the house was quiet, Samuel curled up on his mat and fell asleep. And then suddenly, Samuel's eyes popped open. He sat up straight. Did someone call me, he wondered? Thinking it was Eli, he jumped up and ran down the hall. Yes, said Samuel. Here I am, Eli. You called me? Eli blinked sleepily. I didn't call you, child, he said. Go back to bed. Samuel nodded and went back to his mat. The house grew quiet, but not for long. Samuel! Samuel's heart thumped. He was being called again. He jumped up and ran to Eli. Again. Here I am, Samuel said. You called me? Eli sat up this time. He was confused. No, Samuel, I didn't call you. Go lay down. Samuel obeyed. Back to bed he went. The lamps flickered. The night was still. Then, for a third time, Samuel! Samuel didn't hesitate. He ran as fast as his feet would carry him. Here I am, he said to Eli. You did call me. That's when Eli understood. He looked at Samuel with wide, thoughtful eyes. Samuel, he said softly, I didn't call you. I think God is calling you. Samuel froze. God? Calling me? Eli continued. Go back to bed. If you hear the voice again, say, Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. Samuel nodded slowly. He walked back to his mat, lay down, and waited. Then, Samuel! Samuel! Samuel swallowed, took a deep breath, and then whispered the words Eli had told him. Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. And God spoke. God shared a message with Samuel and showed him that he had an important plan for his life. That night, God didn't speak to a king or a warrior or a grown-up prophet. He spoke to a child. From that moment on, Samuel grew up listening for God's voice. God guided him, spoke to him again and again, and used him to lead his people. Samuel learned something that night that we can learn too. God still speaks, and he loves hearts that are quiet and ready to listen. God may not call out our name in the middle of the night, but he still talks to us through his word, the Bible, through wise people who know and love him, and gently to our hearts. But we have to slow down, we have to be quiet, and we have to listen, just like Samuel did. Well, that's a pretty cool story, huh? Want to hear something else cool? The tabernacle, where Samuel and the priests lived, wasn't a building. It was actually a giant tent. It could be taken apart and moved because God's people traveled often. Inside the tabernacle were all sorts of oil lamps that would burn all night long, and one of Samuel's jobs was taking care of those lamps. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you're having a wonderful day, or evening, or morning, all of it. Please share this podcast with other people. I really would appreciate it, and look forward to talking to you again soon as we imagine this. Bye!